Hi everyone, my name is Kira and welcome to the Sea Dragon's Lair. This is my very first Flosstube and I'm really excited about it. Um, I've been cross stitching for a little over a year now. I started back in July 2019, January, July, one of the J months. Um, I really like it. I tried cross stitching when I was younger. I dabbled in lots of arts. My family is very artistic. My mom's a quilter. Well, my whole family is a quilter. We actually have a online quilt shop. It's called Happy Squirrel Quilts. We sell mostly like fabric and patterns for quilters and sewers. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. My sister, who lives out in Colorado, is the one that runs most of it, and she does an amazing job of doing that in addition to running her own private music studio. So she got a lot of the musical aspects of the arts as well as quilting. She knits, she crochets. My dad, he also is a musician. He writes his own music and plays his own music. Hopefully, I will be featuring some of his songs. I think they're great. Might be biased, but I think they're really good. So yeah, I've been sewing since I was 5. I've been doing a lot of embroidery work, and I used to embroider like all the time. When my fiance and I would go out to the bars, I would bring like my embroidery, and people would come up and like, "Oh, my grandmother used to knit," and I'd be like, "Oh, that's awesome." It's like I'm embroidering. I don't actually know how to knit, and it's just kind of a conversation starter. And so one of our regular places that we used to always hang out at in Florida, one of the owners, the wife, came up to me one day and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I got all these kits for you. I don't think I'm ever going to use them." And she gave me a whole bunch of cross stitch kits. And I was like, in my mind, oh my gosh, like I don't know how to cross stitch, and here she is giving me all these kits, and I don't want to be mean and say no. So I was determined to learn how to cross stitch. Um, Being an embroiderer, I know a lot of people who are in that realm of arts are like, cross stitching is easy, it's just making X's. It's not. It's not easy. So the very first project I did, I don't have it with me. There's actually a really kind of fun story with that. So it was one of the kits that my friend had given me, and it says like laundry today or naked tomorrow. I'm sure you guys have probably seen the kits. They're kind of in everywhere. And I started working on it, and it was hard. There's lots of like creams, and it was on white. And I don't have the best eyesight, and lots of counting. I did lots of mistakes, and I was kind of getting frustrated. But I had joined a Facebook group for cross stitchers, and one of the members had posted that she was not having the best day. She had just found out that she had breast cancer, and she wanted people to post what they were working on, just kind of bring some joy to her life at that time. So I posted what I was working on. I was like, "This is my very like first time cross stitching. I think this pattern's really fun." And she actually reached out to me and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love your pattern. It made me smile. Please keep me posted with your progress on it. This is absolutely amazing." So that motivated me to actually finish it. Probably if she hadn't reached out to me, I would have possibly given up. There was lots of frogging involved in that project, but I did. I persevered and I finished it. And I reached out to her and I sent her pictures. Like, "Here you go. Hope this brings as much joy." And she's like, "Yes. Oh my gosh! Like, I can't believe you reached back out to me. I always remember that piece. It just makes me really smile and laugh." Come to find out, she ended up having to have a double mastectomy. And she was in recovery and couldn't really stitch a lot or anything. So I told her if she was interested that I would love to send her this, because I like giving away things that I make, especially if it makes somebody's day. So she was thrilled about that, and I sent it off to her, and she loved it. She loved it. She hung it up right away. She says it brings her joy. Results came back. She's cancer free, which is awesome and amazing. So yeah, that's a little bit about my very first cross stitch piece. I do have photos of it. I'm not sure how to work editing magic. But we can see if maybe I can insert a picture of it. Don't judge. Again, it was my very first cross stitch piece. But yeah, so that was my very first cross stitch piece, and I haven't looked back. I love cross stitching. I love dyeing my own fabrics. Yeah, the whole community is amazing. I started watching Flosstube maybe a couple months ago, and I'm addicted. Rachel Ray Crafts is probably one of my favorite channels. I used to do a little bit of diamond painting as well, so I enjoy watching her videos on that. I also like Miss Lay Pages, Noah Stitches, Noah Stitches, Married with Stitches. Strawberry Fields Stitches is a new one. I really like her as well. And as well as like uh, uh, Bindi G. I'm not saying that right, but I know you guys know who I'm talking about because everybody's seen her channel. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I think that Flosstube is just such a unique and amazing way to keep track of your projects. I'm also hoping that it will inspire me to keep on working on things. If I have hopefully some sort of audience that watches me that is then excited to see my progress on projects. So I want to show you some of my projects that I've finished so far. Like I said, I haven't been cross stitching too long, and I also really enjoy gifting my cross stitches and my art in general. So yeah, before I get started though, my hat, it's really cute. It's a pumpkin hat. My sister knitted it for me. It's cold. I guess I should say a little bit about me. I am from Florida, moved to South Carolina for college, met my now fiance. We moved back to Florida, different part of Florida, hated it, and now we're back in South Carolina. So, being a third generation Floridian, anything below 70 is freezing for me. And I know probably most of y'all are laughing at me for that, but it's true. And today it is 51 degrees and it's 8 o'clock, like the sun's up. So, yeah, don't do cold. But my sister knitted this for me and I love it and it's cute and adorable. So, I decided that I would wear it. So, yeah, moving on. So, my second piece that I've ever cross stitched was sorry, moving the camera here, a stitch along. It's a Stitchonomy stitch along, and oh, the glare is really bad. Sorry, I need to figure out how to fix that. But this was her winter 2019. So I guess I started cross stitching in January. Her winter 2019 stitch along. So this is stitched on 28 count even weave. I hand ice dyed the fabric, and the pattern was a lot of fun because every day or every other day she released a snowflake, and I kept up pretty much with it. Being new to cross stitching, some were more difficult than others. There are definitely mistakes in here. I've miscounted some little bits and pieces here and there, and there's a couple X's that I forgot which way I was doing my X's, and I did it backwards. But overall, I'm really, really happy with this piece. I put it in a frame, and I do keep this up year round because I'm one of those people that I don't decorate for holidays, but I tend to have holiday decorations up year round. If I like it, it's going to go up. I don't care what holiday it is, if it's the wrong season or whatnot. If I like it, I put it up. Also, something that I did is I put a label on the back. So I will always remember, which is awesome that I did that. And I actually haven't really done that since, but I really need to start doing that again. The next one was actually another Stitchonomy, Stitch Along. I've done some in between again. I might get pictures from family members that I gifted it to or friends. But this was her colorful critter Stitch Along. I am a Patreon member of Stitchonomy, and I highly recommend it. It's not too expensive. I think I'm like an $8 tier, and that's like a month. So I don't drink coffee. I don't go out for tea or beer or anything like that. So it's like a cup of coffee a month. If you go to like one of those fancy places or even Starbucks or something. So, being a Patreon member for her colorful critter stitch along, she released 2 additional color palettes. And I decided that I wanted to do the pastel color palette because as much as I love fun, colorful, vibrant, I also am drawn to pastels. I don't know, maybe that's the Taurus in me. Supposedly Taurus likes pastel colors, but I decided to do that, and this is stitched on an 18 count black Aida, and I quickly lost drive after seeing people stitching it in the other colors. I liked the other colors a lot better, but at that point I was already a couple critters in, and I was really hemming and hawing what I was going to do. I wasn't sure if I was going to put it away or and then just like finish it later or what. And I was really just kind of done with it. At that time, by the time like it was over, like all the pattern had been released and I was only this far. So I decided that I was just going to finish it. So I added the critters' scientific names that she had in the pattern, and my amazing mom turned it into a little project bag for me. So this is a project bag. She put little squared off corners and loops here so I can put a handle. And it just plain inside, there's foam batting, so it's pretty stiff and stands up mostly on its own. The table's not very even. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I think that was a big step in me as far as my crafting goes, to be, okay, I'm not enjoying this anymore, but I do like what I've done. Stop now, and it's okay. Which I think is something that everybody should be aware of. You don't have to finish a project if you're not loving it. I know a lot of people put stuff in timeout, which is also a great idea. So yeah, whatever it is, if you're frustrated, whatnot, set it aside or say, hey, it's okay. I'm done with it. Moving on. So this pattern, when we moved into our new place, we kept our same internet. And my fiance, he does like computer stuff. So our internet password is, no joke, like 20 characters long, including special characters that aren't normally found on keyboards and stuff. So I found this adorable pattern. It's called No Internet by Neostalgia Co. on Etsy. And it originally said like no internet exclamation point, something that started like F off or whatever like that. And I just was in love with the little no internet dinosaur and the fact that it's kind of 3D. So it has the red and the blue around the black. So it kind of jumps out at you. So I changed the pattern. I did no internet with a question mark, and then I said try this, and I put our domain and our password. So when we have people come over and they're like, hey, what's your internet? I can point them to this. Again, this was from Neostalgia Co. on Etsy. It was called No Internet. He has some really other adorable patterns as well. And customer service was awesome. I left a review because his patterns were amazing. I also reached out to him, was like, hey, is it okay if I like alter the pattern a little bit so I can do it for my internet? And he responded almost immediately. He said, that's amazing, that's awesome, I love it. Yeah, so he also offered me a free pattern from his website, which I'm really excited about. I have a lot of projects going on right now, so he said that I was okay if I did a rain check. So I'm gonna hold on to that rain check and see what's going on. There's a really cute Cthulhu pattern on there, as well as a kitten and a bowl of ramen. So check them out, Neostalgia Co. Next thing that I have that I stitched, I'm calling this an FFO because it's done, but I'm also thinking it's not done. Let me explain in a minute. So this little hand towel, the pattern is called Sleep and Playtime Pandas. This is the pattern. I'm not sure if it's by like STS Crafts or there's not really an artist name on here. I got this when I was in Florida from the Golden Needle. If you're ever in Port Charlotte, I highly recommend swinging by the Golden Needle. It's a 2-story cross-stitch shop with bazillion patterns and fabric and floss, and the owners are really, really amazing and awesome. So in one spot, they had all of these like little hand towels. And the thing was, if you purchased a hand towel, you got a free cross-stitch chart out of the basket. And I love pandas. They're actually my second favorite animal, bats being my first. But if you ask really any of my friends what my favorite animal is, they're going to say it's a panda. So the reason why I say I'm not too sure if it's 100% FFO is because I don't have the back finished. I'm contemplating if I want to do like a interfusing on the back, so it's a bit more protective. Right now it's essentially a decorative towel. I keep it in the bathroom that I use just to get ready in the mornings, and I don't use it as a hand towel. I'm pretty sure my fiance is afraid to touch it, which is a good thing. And so I'm currently fine leaving it as is. It just makes me smile in the morning. Like literally every time I've seen it hanging up there, which has been since I finished it this past summer, and I love it. It's cute. It's adorable. So another thing, in addition to just my love of cross stitch and my love of dyeing fabrics, I'm also really enjoying designing patterns. I don't have the confidence to sell any of my patterns yet. Let me know if you like. I have 2 patterns I'm going to be showing you that I designed myself. Let me know if you think they're fun, if they're cute, if they're worth putting up somewhere to sell. This one, when I go on vacation, I used to be really into scrapbooking. And since scrapbooking takes up a lot of time and it's an amazing hobby. It's a lot of fun, but I've kind of faded out of it, and I faded into shadow boxes. So I make vacation shadow boxes, and recently my fiance and I went to Brevard, North Carolina, and they are famous for white squirrels, and the reflection is really bad. I'm sorry. So they're famous for white squirrels. So I designed up this little white squirrel, and it just says Brevard, North Carolina, August 2020. Which is when we went up there. Yes, it was during the pandemic. We stayed at a cabin in the woods. Our activities including hiking at waterfalls, and we did wear masks. So we took all the precautions and everything like that. But I wanted to stitch something to commemorate our time there, and we actually saw a white squirrel. So I've been to Brevard before. My sister went to the music camp there and everything like that. And I'd heard about these white squirrels. I had never seen one in person. And I was really, really excited that the last day that I was there, we encountered a white squirrel. So I decided that I had to stitch it. This is stitched on 28 count even weave. I can't remember the color. And then I put a piece of a rock that I found at the waterfall there. So I turned them into a little button, essentially, using just kind of like one of those make your own buttons, and I just glued it in there so it gets a little bit three-dimensional. So that's one pattern I designed. Another one that I designed, it was recently my fiance's birthday in September, and one of his favorite video games right now is Borderlands, and I'm not sure if you guys have anybody that you know that's obsessed with video games, but he can spend literally like 200,000 hours on a video game, which I'm not saying anything about because I can spend equally amount of time cross-stitching, and that is actually something that we enjoy doing is in the evenings, hanging out together on the couch, me cross-stitching, him playing video games. So in Borderlands, there is this character, his name is Claptrap, and he's kind of like the comedy relief guy in the video game. And one of the favorite scenes of both my fiance and mine's is when there's a hole in the ship and he gets like stuck in the hole to like block the hole essentially. And he said, my a blank, it's full of stars. I'm trying to keep my channel appropriate, so I'm bleeping and blanking out stuff. So apparently my fiance says that this is in reference to an old sci-fi movie. I think Space Odyssey, he said. I haven't seen it. I guess I have to watch it just so I get the reference. But I designed this guy. Essentially, I design cross-stitch patterns when I have something in my mind that I really want to stitch that I can't find. There are some really cool claptrap patterns out there, but I wanted one specifically with his umbrella and with kind of like the cracks of the ship. So this is stitched on, it's stitched on Galaxy dyed printed fabric by Easy Stitch for Fun. So when I ordered this, I read Galaxy dyed cross stitch fabric and I skipped over everything else. And when it came, I ordered two different ones, this one and then I ordered this one. When it came, I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't dyed. So I went back and I read it and I realized that yes, in fact, she had specifically listed that it was printed fabric, but I just kind of skipped over that in my mind. So it's really cool if you have a project that you need something more galaxy themed than what you would get with just dyeing. It's 14 count, which I haven't stitched on 14 count in a while, and I don't like it. I think I'm kind of addicted to 28 count. I've dabbled a little bit in 32 count as well, but yeah, so it's nice. You can check her shop out really quick. I think I can't remember exactly where it shipped from, but somewhere overseas. And it arrived pretty quickly, especially since it was during COVID when I ordered it. So those are all of my FFOs. I have, oh, no, it's not. So I started doing a recording yesterday and I realized I didn't like it. So I went to do one again today. And something that I didn't have yesterday, that I found was my jean jacket. So on the sleeve, I have this little bat. It says hang in there. And this pattern is by Lady Stitchacorn. And it's called Bat Hang In There is the pattern. I think she has a sloth as well, but as I said, bats are my favorite animal. And I stitched this onto my jean jacket using water-soluble canvas. And it was a lot of fun. It was hard and it was frustrating because the jean material is thicker. And this one's kind of like a stretch jean, so I kept on getting into like the stretchy fibers. And being in the sleeve was a little bit difficult. but I really, really enjoyed it. I also then stitched, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Let me just take off my jacket for a minute. Excuse my arm fat. A Bulbasaur on the back, and he's adorable. And I just found his pattern online. I'm trying to remember where I got it from. It was a website that has a whole bunch of free Pokemon patterns. I'll try to find out where it was. I'm gonna create a link haven page, so everything that I'm talking about today I'll put in there. So yeah, those are all of my FFOs. I'm still figuring out, I've decided this is gonna be my tattoo jacket, where when I come across cross stitch patterns that I really, really like, that I don't know what I'm gonna do with, I'm just gonna stitch it on here. So yeah, moving on. I have two FOs to show you. The first one is by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And this guy is from their Pen Pal series. He's Pen Pal number 206, and it's called Pinata Party. They did like kind of a mini stitch along with this pattern where it was a discounted price and everything like that. And I stitched him on 14 count hand dyed fabric. I actually dyed this with turmeric powder. I really enjoy kind of trying out natural dyes as well. And then I added some Kyanite metallic, so he's kind of sparkly. So I think he's really adorable. I'm contemplating about turning him into a needle book, possibly. If you have any ideas, let me know. So yeah, he's adorable. I really like Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I have signed up for their upcoming Christmas stitch along. That's the wreath. So I've signed up for that. I already have my fabric picked out and most of my threads. So I'm excited for that. Not that I have a bazillion other projects I'm already working on. And then the second one that I have is this cute little guy. So this was another stitch along. This was from Nerd Stitch Along. It's a Facebook group that I kind of stumbled upon. And this was her July stitch along, and it was all done using nonogram puzzles. And before joining, I had never heard of a nonogram puzzle. And it's really, really cool. So I've done Sudoku, and it's kind of, sort of like that, I would guess. But essentially, you would have a clue, like a box, like a gridded box, and there's numbers. And based on those numbers, you fill in kind of the boxes. So once I stumbled upon this, they were already a couple days in, and people had already guessed that this was a pattern based on the show Psych. So I chose my colors specifically. This green is like their green from the show, and I knew that there was gonna be a pineapple on there. If you haven't seen the show Psych, I highly recommend it. I've watched it numerous times, and actually my fiance and I had just finished binging it before this pattern dropped. So if you go to their Facebook page, Nerd Stitch Along, it's still up there. It's free. They're currently doing another stitch along right now. I'm not participating in it. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I just have lots of other projects going on. So yeah, he's adorable. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with him yet. Maybe turn him into magnet. We will see. So moving on, I have a couple whips to show you. The first one is Stitchonomy's Halloween stitch along. So I am, like I said, a Patreon member of her. So I have some additional patterns. So I blocked them out. I'm really, really enjoying this one. So this was free to sign up before a certain point. It's no longer free to sign up for, but if you join her Patreon page, you can get the pattern. So being a Patreon member, we had some additional frame options. So I had my fiance help me figure out which designs to put around the frame and where to put them. And he decided that the ghost had to be a Pac-Man ghost. So I changed him up a little bit and did a Pac-Man ghost. And that's one thing that I do have to say about Alyssa from Stitchonomy is she is very supportive of your own creativity. Just be mindful to not copyright anything or rip off people. If you do use other people's patterns that they give you permission to use, just to make sure you credit them for it. So yeah, this is really fun. You get a block a day, and I did design one of my own. I'm leaving some blank spots because I'm kind of so-so on those patterns, and there's so many amazing like alternatives that I'm gonna wait until the end to figure out what I want to put into those blocks. But I did decide that I had to design my own right here. So my really, really good friend Bonnie messaged me the other day when I posted saying that I was leaving some blocks to see what I want to fill in there. And she was like, you have to stitch a witch penguin. So her favorite animal is penguins. Her favorite color is blue. So right after I got that text, I was actually working on this project. So I sat this down like mid-stitch and I pulled out my design software and I whipped up this little guy. And I decided he had to go in this block because this block had a little die splotch here that looked like a heart. So I decided it was going to be like a little witch working on a love potion or something like that, or the love of friendship, or who knows, just something cute and fun. So I'm really excited that she messaged me with that idea and that it turned out as adorable as it did. Also, my mom made me this grime guard, which is awesome. Like I said, my fiance recently had a birthday. And when my parents sent him his birthday box, I think I got more presents in the box than he did. But yeah, that's just how it goes. But yeah, so she made me this grime guard, which is awesome and amazing. And then up top here, I had stitched this little needle minder. I designed the pattern myself and stitched them up. I do sell some of my needle minders on my family's website, Happy Squirrel Quilts. I'm thinking of changing it up some. They're definitely way more expensive than I see needle minders, but I'm stitching at 1/1 on 28 count, and it does take a lot of time. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna eventually lower the price or just not sell them, because I do feel like that they're kind of expensive, but at the same time that I can't really justify making them any cheaper just with the amount of time that it takes me to stitch them. So yeah, we will see. They are fun to stitch, but yeah, they are up there in the handmade section of our website at Happy Squirrel Quilts. So yeah, if you are interested in checking them out, I have a panda, of course, and a penguin, I think. So the next project I have, my mom stitched me up this awesome project bag. I told her that I was going to be stitching the Dark Queen of the Sea stitch along, and that I would love to have a grime guard and a project bag to go with it. And she dug through her stash and found this amazing nautical modern fabric. So she stitched that up for me, and then I currently have it off the Q-snap because I'm not working on it at the moment. But she also stitched me this grime guard that matches, but it has like fish on it, which is really, really cool. This style reminds me of my Aunt Kathy's artwork style. It's pretty similar, so I kind of like that as well. So this, I'm sure you guys have seen the Dark Queen of the Sea stitch along by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I dyed the fabric myself, doing just an ice dye. I think it's a little purpley, but my favorite color is purple, so I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, I have one fish done. That's it. Just one little guy. And he's not even like complete because I don't have the back stitching or his eye on. But I read that a lot of people are waiting to the end to do the back stitching at least. And especially since I'm working on a Q snap, I think that if I have to move the Q snap over it, I don't want the back stitching to be affected. So yeah, so I got one little guy done. He was a lot of fun actually. So slowly but surely working on that one. I'm really excited that it seems to be hashtag not a mermaid. As much as I love mermaids, being from Florida, I definitely think mermaids is an oversaturated market right now. So yeah, put that one to the side. And this next one is kind of a whip. I actually have not stitched anything on this. So a couple months ago, my Aunt Amanda sent me this along with this pattern. My grandmother stitched most of this years ago. So my grandmother used to go on a lot of like archaeological digs and like down everywhere essentially. And she must have picked up this pattern somewhere in her travels. There's no date on it or anything. It does say it's from Texas, but I'm not sure if she got it there or not. But yeah, knowing my grandmother, I couldn't imagine her ever cross-stitching. She's a watercolor artist. She did these paintings behind me. Yeah, so she had given it to my aunt many years ago as well, and my aunt stitched some on it back when she used to cross-stitch, and she no longer cross-stitch so she passed it on to me when she found out that I was cross-stitching. So I call it my whip because the pattern, it's old and it looks like it was legitimately like a hand-drawn pattern that was then just scanned and printed onto patterns. So I'm digitizing it just for my own personal use, because it's really hard to see these patterns, as well as I want to then kind of be able to on my computer lay out where I'm going to put the other ones. So I'm considering it a whip because I am working on like kind of the pattern part of it, and I do want to keep working on it. I don't want to just stick in a drawer for another who knows how many years. So yeah, while I was moving that, I realized that I had 2 more FFOs. They were tiny, so that's why I didn't see them. I had them written down, but I'm not really following my list that well. So the first one is something that I designed myself, but the pattern is really easy. I just got a Christmas magazine and there's a pattern in there that's pretty similar. So it's this little guy. I stitched him, this is the one side, and then I reversed the colors on the back. This is stitched on 18 count Aida. And I finished him into a little pillow. So this was the first time I'd ever finished anything like this. I found a tutorial online. It was actually a really good tutorial, so I might see if I can add that to my link haven. But it was really cute. So I made the pillow and I was like, this is freaking adorable. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. It's probably just going to go in a drawer somewhere. So my mom said, how about turn it into a little zipper pull? So that's what I did. I added a little claw to it, and I can now use it as a zipper pull or a scissor fob thingy. So yeah, I thought that was really adorable. And I was pretty obsessed with how cute the pillow was. So when I got an email from Curious Twist, you can sign up for her newsletter for free. She sent out an email recently with a free pattern of spooky eyes. And I liked the spooky eyes, and I decided that I wanted to stitch them. I had glow in the dark floss that I had never used before. So she gave a color palette of really cool greens for the eyes, but then she went on to say that please feel free to change up the eye color. So I decided that I was going to try my glow in the dark, and I did the whole eyes glow in the dark. I have a picture on my Instagram of Sea Dragons layer, Sea Dragons underscore layer of what it looks like glowing in the dark. And then on the back side, I decided to make a little pillow ornament. On the back side, I just stitched up Happy Halloween. The font is a mixture of free fonts and just me doodling on a piece of graph paper. Being Halloween, I decided it didn't have to match. It'd be kind of like spooky and funky and fun. So yeah, cute little guy. Again, that was Curious Twist. She has some really cool modern patterns on her website. So what I want to do now is do a little like haul part of my video. Sorry, this is the long video. I had lots of stuff that I wanted to show off in the first place. In the future, I plan on doing a video every other week. It probably won't be quite as long. So if you're not into long videos, definitely check out my next one, hopefully. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. So I made this video. I tried to make a video yesterday and it didn't go well. So I decided I was going to make a video again today. And in the meantime, I got a package. And I tend to order so many things that I forget what I order. But this was something that I was really, really excited about. I ordered it a long time ago. It was part of a Kickstarter. And I'm trying to remember. They don't have their name on here. I'm trying to remember who it's from. I will find that out and I will put it not only in my link haven but also in my comments below just because I can't remember it. But yeah, so they gave like a really cute little like thank you card. And I got a little candy. Hi Chew. It's mango. It sounds interesting. And then this is what I got. It's a Momo, and he's hugging a peach. And it's adorable. For those who don't know who Momo is, he is a super adorable, funny character from the Avatar. The cartoon, the original cartoon. Not the Legend of Korra. Well, he's in the Legend of Korra. And not the Blue People Avatar. This is the good Avatar. Even though I did enjoy, actually, the Blue People Avatar. Just because it was really pretty. But this is Momo. And he's adorable. He is a enamel pin. I do intend to, however, convert him to a needle minder. So yeah, that is my haul. I was just really, really excited. I didn't open it before this video, so I'm just trying to checking him out, and he's adorable. He really is adorable. So, plans for this coming time. Oh, also, at the end of this video, I'm going to show off projects that I'm working on that are presents. I want to save it to the end. That way my friends and family that may be getting presents from me can stop watching so they don't get the surprise ruined. But at the same time, I can still record for you guys to watch as well as just for my future reference of what I made. So that's going to come on the end. But what I want to work on this week, I want to get one more fish, or this 2 weeks, I want to get one more fish stitched on my Dark Queen of the Sea. I might be able to stitch more, but I'm trying to set realistic goals. So I want to get one more fish stitched. I also want to keep up with my Halloween stitchonomy stitch along, skipping over blocks that I'm not too sure about the pattern on, but otherwise keeping up with that. And then I am working on the peppermint purple stitch along, which is for a present. So I will show that later, which is why I want to insert that little gibbet of that. I want to get at least 2 blocks done on that. I'm really, really far behind on that. And I want to start kind of catching back up because it is going to be for a present. So it does have a due date. Other than that, normally I would put like a little life update, but since this is my first time, I don't really have anything to update on. Also, something that I really enjoy that Flosstubes do is when people say what they're listening to, what they're watching, what they're reading. I'm always looking for new ideas. Currently, I am watching Bunnicula, the cartoon. It is on Amazon, and when I was a kid, I was obsessed with the Bunnicula book series. I actually have most of the books still. It's essentially about a vampire rabbit, a bunny, Bunnicula, and a cat named Chester, and a dog named Harold. And a whole bunch of like spooky, crazy things happen, and it's hilarious and it's adorable. And that's what I've been watching in the evenings. If my fiance hasn't been playing his video games, I've been watching that, especially while I'm stitching on my Halloween stitchonomy. I think it's a good tie over. Even if you're not too into cartoons or think that you're too old for cartoons, who's too old for cartoons? But check it out, Bunnicula. They have a couple free seasons on Amazon Prime, and then there's another platform that they're doing, which we just signed up for the free trial just so I can finish watching it. And then I am currently listening to an audiobook. I used to do a lot of reading, but since I've started cross-stitching, it's really difficult to be reading a book while you're cross-stitching. So I took up listening to audiobooks, and I just found the audiobook Hawk by James Peterson. He is the author of a whole bunch of books, but he's really known for the Maximum Ride series, which is another series that I actually was really quite obsessed with as a kid. And this book, Hawk, is actually about the daughter of Maximum Ride. So it's really good. I really enjoyed listening to it. So that is currently kind of what I am listening to. In addition to that, I am also watching Flosstubes. At the beginning, I know I listed the Flosstubes that I watch. I will do it again, just in case you haven't heard of these people. You should definitely check them out. Rachel Ray Crafts, Mislaid Pages. So Rachel Ray Crafts also does diamond painting. She also does some knitting, a little bit of everything. Really adorable, amazing personality. Like, I feel that I like connect with her and that she's already my friend, even though she probably doesn't know who I am. Mislaid Pages. She does also a knit cast video, which is really, really cool. I don't knit. My sister knits. So I enjoy watching the videos just because then I have something to like text over to my sister, hey, have you heard of this designer or whatnot? And she's also just like a really cool person. I like what she cross stitches as well. Noah with Stitches, he is also designing patterns. His stitching is impeccable. Like, his stitches are so perfect. He just got a new kitten, which is also an additional cute factor of the video. In addition to just Noah being adorable as himself. And then I do like also watching Married with Stitches. They are also the owners of Fortnite Fabrics, which is really, really cool. They dye their own fabrics. They have a fabric of the month that I am contemplating about joining once they open it up for next year. Strawberry Fields Stitches. She is new. Actually, Rachel Ray had mentioned her. Rachel Ray Cross had mentioned her. So I went and checked her out. I think she has 6 or 7 Flosstubes out. I really like her Flosstubes. She's also does embroidery, which being a ex-embroiderer, which I still dabble in embroidery now and then. I enjoy watching her videos because she does embroidery as well as cross stitching. She has cats. I don't have any pets. I have a tiny little stuffed Gigi there, but I don't have any actual pets of my own. So whenever anybody has pets on their channel, I'm kind of drawn to it. But yeah, I really like her patterns. I like her videos. She actually kind of was a big inspiration for me to start, just because she put herself out there and is enjoying it. She seems like she's enjoying it, and I decided that if anybody can do it, what's holding me back? So yeah, and then Michelle Bindi Stitches, I do watch her channel as well. I like what she works on. She also has been doing a lot of like unboxings, which is really cool. So yeah, those are my floss tubes that I'm currently watching. If you have anybody else, or if you yourself have a floss tube, please let me know. I'm always game to watch somebody new. So with that being said, I am now to my presents section of my video. So if you are a close friend, a family member, or my newly found international cross-stitch pen pal who lives in Australia, didn't know that was a thing, but there's actually a Facebook group called International Cross-Stitch Pen Pals that I recently joined, and I now have a pen pal in Australia, which is really, 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 really cool. Please stop watching the video now. Thank you so much for watching up to this point, but I don't want to spoil anything for you. Okay, great. Hopefully they're gone. So I want to show off a couple presents that I am working on / that I have finished. I hope to eventually, before I send off all of my Christmas presents, ooh, and it just drops everything, do a Christmas present video that I will then post after Christmas. So just so everybody can see what I did, and then that way I also have a record of what I did, because I normally send things off and then I totally forget what I make for people. Excuse me. Okay, so first things first, I finished some of my stitches that I'm going to be sending to my pen pal. The month of November, we are supposed to cross stitch something that is from a childhood memory or something that represents a loved one. So I did this little cross stitch treble clef, and I finished up in this little wooden hoop frame. I put a little piece of felt on the back. I think my mom got me this from somewhere. I couldn't tell you where. The pattern itself was just a free pattern that I found, and I did a little bit of tweaking to it to make it small enough to fit. This is stitched 2/2 on 28 count. So I did a treble clef because not only does my sister play and teach music, and my dad write and plays music, my fiance also is an amazing guitarist, and he has recently started writing his own music as well. So this is something that represents a loved one or loved ones. So I'm excited to send that to her. And then this little guy, I'm gonna turn into a magnet. She really enjoys butterflies. So this guy is from Snapdragon. They have a Facebook page, and they are currently doing a butterfly stitch along. This is the only one that I did. I didn't really think this through, and I did it on plastic, on the plastic canvas, but there are fractional stitches in their patterns, and they did make that clear. And I just rebelled, and I was going to be, I don't care if there's fractional stitches, I'm going to do it on plastic canvas. So it turned out well. I don't recommend doing it on plastic canvas because you can't do fractional stitches on plastic canvas. But I think it's adorable, so I'm going to stick a magnet on it and send that to her as well. That was from Snapdragon Cross Stitch on Facebook. So this is, I was working on this last night. This is my Peppermint Purple stitch along. There. So I'm stitching this on 18 count Aida. This is the very first time I've ever done black work, and 18 count might be a little small for it, but I think it's turning out really well. This is going to be for my dad for his birthday. So his birthday is in February, so not quite have to finish in time for Christmas, but pretty soon thereafter. I am doing this as a quote unquote temperature stitch along. The temperatures, however, are not from this year. They are actually from the year he was born. So I was able to find the average temperatures for the weeks. So if you're not familiar, this is Peppermint Purple, and they release a block a week on Wednesdays. So I did the weekly averages from the year he was born. I found that on some sort of like online almanac. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I was for a while there keeping up with it. Every Wednesday, back in Florida, I used to be off on Wednesdays. So I would wake up and this was the very first thing I would do. A lot of times, even before I got out of bed, Tuesday nights, I would put this by my bed so I didn't have to get out of the warm covers. But recently I've kind of fallen behind. So I do want to try to catch back up, especially since I need to get that done by February or prior to February, because I do want to end up framing it for him. So another one that I am stitching on is one for my in-laws, or future in-laws, but they're essentially my in-laws. It says I don't have the pattern that I can show off because I only printed out that actual pattern, and I don't want to show that. This is from My Easy Stitch. They have an Etsy shop. It is called Love Disney. And so it says Disney, and then it has like Mickey Mouse gloves, and it says love, and then there's like a little Disney logo. My in-laws are obsessed with Disney, so I think that they will really enjoy that. I've been working on it now and then, but it's actually a really quick stitch. I think if I just sat down and focused on it, I could get it done in a day, possibly. I like to say that I'm a slow stitcher and complain about how slow I am at stitching. But in all honesty, I don't think I'm a slow stitcher. I think I'm a distracted stitcher, because I will be stitching on something and then I will check something on my phone. I'll go down the Facebook rabbit hole and then I'll go back to stitching and then I'll like get into whatever video game my fiance is playing. So I say I'm a slow stitcher, but I think I'm just a distracted stitcher, in all honesty. And then one last thing I want to show you. This is for my mom's birthday. Her birthday is in November. I am calling this done. I have already informed her that her birthday present will be a partially incomplete present. That's not uncommon with my family. We always make gifts for everybody. Growing up, that was always a thing. You had to make a gift for somebody before you could even buy a gift for somebody. So a lot of times they were kind of semi-unfinished or finished to a certain point, and then you would help that person finish the gift or allow that person to finish the gift in a way that they would then use it or appreciate it more. So this is what I stitched for my mom. It is called Let's Sew by Imaginating. This was the very first pattern. Here's the pattern that I bought. I bought this when I was living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's from the Cross Stitch Cupboard. If you were ever down in, well, I think it's technically in Wilton Manors, but Fort Lauderdale, essentially. If you're ever in that area, check them out. It's a cute little shop. They have lots of patterns. The people are so friendly there. They, pre-COVID, would do a stitch night every night, and I went in there not too long after I started cross stitching when I found out that I actually had a LNS that was close to me, and I found this pattern and I loved it. especially since like my mom, she sews, she quilts. I knew I wanted to get this and do it for her. However, since I'd gotten the pattern, I had stuck it away because I was not confident in doing it. And I recently decided that I could do it. So I did. And it was a really, really quick stitch. Like once I got going on it, it just flew by. So I'm really excited. I got it done. I'm gonna send it to her like this. I was contemplating about finishing it into a pillow, but I'm not sure if she would really use the pillow, and I'm not sure if she'd prefer to hang it or what. So yeah, I'm gonna send it like that. So that is everything that I am currently working on. And I really, really have enjoyed this. I know it's kind of a long video. I will try to keep my future videos not quite as long, unless you guys like it this long. Let me know. What do you like about the video? What don't you like about the video? What do you want to see in the future? What don't you want to see in the future? I do take things extremely personal, but with that being said, please be honest. Don't worry about hurting my feelings, because I will probably read it wrong anyway and get my feelings hurt anyway. But I do want honest opinions. What do you like? What don't you like? I plan on continuing this, even if I don't have anybody watching. Hopefully I do have people watching. I know my family will watch just because they're awesome and supportive, and I have some friends that I know will definitely watch too. But hopefully I will inspire people. I know the floss tubes that I watch inspire me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and coming by the Sea Dragon's lair. You have a great day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks. Bye.